talent that is available to within your family businesses. Use the network that you have access to, because if you are a family business, you have, your, parents, fathers, father-in-laws, husbands, brothers, their network. They also will have access to large family businesses. Tap into their talent. Get yourself equipped. Beat your own mindset and learn. And the moment you start learning, you will start seeing yourself differently. And then when you want to get onto boards, again, use the network and ask. What the problem that is there with our women is that we've been brought up to think that asking for something for ourselves is bad. Humko nahi karna chahiye. And that is why women earn less than their men colleagues.
One is to get into the circuit or to be asked. And the second is, once you are there, how do you sort of assert yourself without thumping the table, without being called cantankerous,
Pallavi, I think Sonu supplied the answer. I was quite thinking about what you said. The best way to make your presence felt and to contribute is by learning. If, even in a family business, if you go and talk to the accounting head and HR and research and so on, you will be more knowledgeable. And then you can perhaps tell your father-in-law that I think this may be a little better way for us to do this thing, based on your knowledge, based on the research that you've done.
My name is Saguna Sodi. I'm a partner with EY. I was just resonating another example to what you said with a woman director in a family-owned business, don't know how to answer back, don't know how to get information. But just resonating to what you said, ma'am, was saying that you have to have very strong ability, sense of ownership of your own ability, professionalism that you bring to the board. And there was this one experience. So, we were talking about certain very sensitive matter to the board. And the lady director kind of said, I don't really understand this. Can you explain it a little bit more? And there were a lot of, smirks around the table. You could definitely feel that. And then she kind of asked the question, we kind of answered it, and she wanted to get into deeper. It kind of went on for a long time that you could see, the rest of the board members kind of getting very edgy about it. But it was amazing that in 15 minutes, the kind of depth she went into, the kind of understanding she got of the issue that was being raised, looking at from different angles, and she kind of mentioned something, and they all just went, that's a good point. And I think we need to see that, and we need to appreciate that repeatedly in boardrooms, talk about that. Now, we also talk about, Arun, so you mentioned that, the 4-year program with so many, women being taught how to be great board members. At the same time, sensitization of, the larger society in general to say, what does it mean? I think we do a lot of more effort in saying, how do we prepare a woman to get in there? Because there is, there are sharks out there, or there is going to get very difficult, or you need to have skill set. It's almost with that mindset, with that kind of a thing. And sometimes I wonder that I think the men also require that kind of training.
I've gone through situations where not being accepted by a client who would say, we will meet the male member in the, the male partner in the firm. And the male partner would say, sorry, go and rule with her. She's the one who's dealing with your matter. Just go with her. So, it's your organization and the management at the top that plays a huge role in having faith in you, pushing you, nudging you out there, and also nudging the clients that, look, she's damn good. Just go with her. And I'm saying so. And that is so important for our own self-confidence to be out there, to tackle with whatever comes your way and deal with it.
I mean, I worked in male-dominated industries from steel to other places, and I think the work environments that most women work in don't make it conducive to move up the ladder, right? Like, if I think about it, I worked for ArcelorMittal, which is one of the largest steel companies out there, and I mean, if you were pregnant, there was no pumping room. So you literally were like pumping in a bathroom, and this is in the US, this is not even in India, right? So just organizations not thinking about the women that work for them. So by the time you get to senior leadership, I think 90% of your women have left you because you couldn't make I'm not saying concessions, but the adjustment to actually account for the fact that they're the primary caregiver. And from children to elder care, I think in India, I mean, and Aditya, you stated initially the data that for the last 2 years, it's very, very high attrition of women across globally. So I think companies need to rethink from the bottom to the top how they function.
It really depends on the organization that you're working with, right? So as a professional or as a mother, it's what the organization actually gives you. So I can tell you, like from my experience, like when I came back, I was separated and I had a 1-year-old child. My boss at the time understood what I needed. And it was a very clear ask from my side to him saying, look, we live in a technology world. It doesn't matter whether I'm in Delhi, Bombay, or Timbuktu. As long as I'm accessible, I'm on my laptop, I have my phone, you can reach me when you want, and the work gets done is what is important. And to his credit, he completely understood it and bought it.
When we say on the competencies of a woman who bring in this type of allowance, the richness to the board. So why not our education system or the mentorship programs focuses on differentiating those competencies which a board desire, and once woman who brings in those competencies. So if what you say, being meticulous, being empathetic, and being other qualities who see, so why not parallelly frame this aspect as we grow up in our levels up, to bring in that effort to recognize those competencies which are needed to run a company. So if those are coming from 50 to 60% from a woman senior leadership, why not bring it on board?
Really required to have deep technical knowledge about the businesses that they sit on the boards of. The fellow board members or people who select board members do look for some kind of competence. Now, each one of us has a different kind of a competence. So, for example, I may be good in operations, I may be good in strategy, but I may not be good in IT. Somebody else may be very good in finance, but not good in marketing. So first, understand what is it that you bring on the table. What is your core competency? What is something that interests you? What is the value that you will add to the business? There's a lot that you will learn from the business for sure. That is a bonus that you get when you are part of a board. But answer the question to yourself that what do I bring on the table? And once you know what you bring on the table, look for networking opportunities, because it is true that people feel comfortable working with board members who, I mean, it's not like a club, but people who are like them. I mean, it's like the French say, je ne sais quoi. So it's like that je ne sais quoi quality. So if you know what you bring on the table, you make effort to learn more about, hone your capabilities, then start asking, talking to people. Talk to headhunters. And don't just send them a CV. That is the worst thing that you can do. Set up meetings. Go meet them at their office. Don't let your ego come in the way that, I am so-and-so's family and, how can I go to somebody's office? Go meet them. If they call you to the office, go meet them. If they ask you to wait for half an hour, wait for half an hour. But meet them. Because when you meet them, you present to them who you are and what you bring, so that when they refer your name, they are confident. The last thing a headhunter wants is to be embarrassed in front of a client, right? So if you give them the confidence that you are a good candidate, they will put forward your name. Talk to people who you already know are on different boards, because vacancies come up, regulations change, churn happens, and if you are talking to people who are already on the boards, you've put it in their minds that, that you are a possible candidate.